Hi instructors, this is Jenny Peters, and I'm going to go over performance reports and learning plans, or otherwise known as learning contracts. So you should see my screen. We're in SharePoint. Currently in 6971, they are not in Canvas, and it's too late to put anything in Canvas, anything else I should say, because Canvas has a deadline, and D2L in Milwaukee is they have a little bit more leeway as far as when they can put things in. So anyways, this is why we have the SharePoint, and I put a lot of different resources in here for those that are not familiar with it. There is a little link. If I click to my email, actually let's go to email here. If you see this little icon here, that means go to group files. So there are things up here, and these are usually the most recent things that are put in here, but then I have all these resources as you move down. All right, so learning plan and performance report. I'm going to bring up the performance report because this is the first thing that you fill out if you notice any occurrence that's happening. So as you can see here from the list, there's a whole list of different things. It could be anything from doing things, not being prepared. So, and you have to use your own judgment. If they're not prepared one time, well, you're probably not going to fill out a performance report. But if you notice that it's happening time and time again, or if you notice disrespect, or they're not wearing their uniform after you've made it clear that you have to wear their uniform. So this is more like a warning sign, and that's for you to give to them. And this again you can find on the SharePoint, which I just showed you. This is before you go to the learning contract or learning plan. So if you hear learning plan or learning contract, it's the same name. So this should be pretty self-explanatory. You can always call me if you're not sure and just want to run it through whether we should go to this step or even go to the next step. Now, what you're going to do with these is you're going to initiate this form, and then you can write down here if you've initiated a learning plan. You don't have to. And then the student needs to sign it, and you need to sign it. And what you do with this then at the final evaluation at the end, make sure you keep a copy of this, and then you basically just staple it to it or have it attached to that final evaluation form, because it's just for, you know, good record keeping. All right, so the learning plan template is this one. So this is when now we've done the performance report and they're not meeting a specific objective or more than one objective. And again, this is something that usually you talk to the course coordinator about, just to say, hey, what do you think? Maybe we should fill one out. And just talk it through, because again, there is a lot of subjectivity to this. And what you're going to do is, so here is the brief form, but it doesn't end up looking this brief because taking notes is really important. So you want to put in the course objectives, and now you want to write as to how they are not meeting the objective or how they are meeting the objective. So there's also a sample learning plan here. And the one thing with this is we want to make sure, this is why it's good to take anecdotal notes as you're going along for each student, just because you never know when something's going to come up. And so you need to be able to go back and say, hey, what has been going on that this patient is having, not meeting the certain objective. All right. And for example, here it'll say safety, analyze how to minimize risk to harm patients. Why are they not meeting it? So week 5, so-and-so was unable to list the abnormal labs, including the reason for the abnormality, etc. Week 7, they were unable to, etc. on here. And week 7 and week 8. Same with, for example, informatics, professional practice. So again, this is more to the extreme, how they're not meeting it, but you just never know. And hopefully we don't want that. And this is a sample. Again, she wrote, Amy Woda is the one that developed this, and this is the most up-to-date one that we're using. Beginning blank will meet with Amy Woda, or that would be you, the clinical instructor, after each clinical data review his or her performance in the clinical area. So you're going to go through each of these to say, hey, you met this today. You did really well. or we still need to work on this. So what I want to convey is that we don't want to make it a scary process for the student, or a threatening environment. So we don't want to right away say, all right, that's it, we're filling out a performance report or a learning plan. But again, there are times, because we should hold high expectations of filling those out for them. If you have any questions, please email me. Otherwise, that is an overall for performance report and learning plan / contract.